So you want to quit your day job and become a successful video freelancer? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to get started. Hello and welcome. If you're new here, I am Nick Kirakides, founder of NK Courses, where I teach freelancers like you to get paid higher, to work on projects you're passionate about, and to create the life that you ultimately want. So we're going from the frame that you already know that you want to be your own boss and just want to know how to get started to make this a reality. So here's what we'll cover in this particular order. Number 1, vision. How you envision your freelance career. 2, business. How you register your business the easy way. 3, finances. How to get paid and if you need an accountant. 4, your portfolio. What to show your client. 5, clients. How to get your very first client. And lastly, 6, strategy. To ensure you're running a business. Starting off with number 1, your grand vision for your business. Once you know your vision, you can clearly communicate what you're about and what type of content you want to work on. You can start a 2 to 3 sentence mission statement by answering these questions. What creative skills do I have? What problems do these solve? Who needs these problem solving? And why is this important to me? This is something you can use for your elevator pitch, your website, about me page, or your social media bio. Be clear in your vision and the rest will follow. Moving on to number 2, business. This isn't the most thrilling part of the lesson, but is super important to get it right, so that you could avoid pain further down the road. If you've already registered your business, then you can skip to the next step using the chapters below. A quick disclaimer, this is not legal advice, so to be sure to check in with the laws of your country and speak to an accountant or business advisor to find the best option for you. Let's start with the business essentials, which are the minimum requirements you need to start freelancing today, which are to register your business. You can do this typically with one of the 3 options: a sole trader, a limited company, also known as a PSC, or an umbrella company. Now, knowing what to register really depends on the country laws your business is registered in and how you will operate within that business. As a basic overview, in the UK, if you're a sole trader, you run your own business as an individual and are self-employed. You can keep all of your business profits after you've paid tax on them. You're personally reliable for any losses your business makes. Pros are it's the simplest of the 3 to set up. The accounting process is easier and you can operate with more privacy. Generally good for small businesses that are simple and don't expect to have much of an income. The cons are you will be personally liable for any debt that your business incurs, and your personal assets can be seized to pay off these debts. It tends to be much more tax inefficient, and it will be more difficult to obtain external funding and finances if you're looking to expand your business. A limited company is a separate legal entity that you can form to run your business. Even if you're a one-person business, as a director, you're responsible for any legal and financial decisions the company makes. The company's assets and liabilities are completely separate from your own personal finances. The pros are you are a legal entity, meaning that your personal finances and assets are protected. It's far more tax efficient and you could benefit from the tax breaks and savings. You're also communicating that you are a more credible business, which is easier to obtain financial and business opportunities. The cons are there tends to be an increased legal and admin requirements, and the details of the company are publicly available. Lastly, what about an umbrella company? Umbrella companies act as intermediaries between the contractors, their employment agency, and the end client. The pros are the ease of use. You'll receive a salary along with a payslip that shows how it's calculated. It's also a benefit if you want to test the waters and do some short-term contract work. The cons are it's a costly way to operate working through an umbrella company because it's generally the most expensive route. You're required to pay PAYE tax and national insurance contributions, just like a full-time employee. With that being said, here are some things to consider. Number 1, the legal side. To what extent do I need to be protected from legal liability? 2. What are the future needs and long-term objectives? How do you envision your business looking long term? 3. Ongoing administration. The costs involved should be outweighed by the size of your business. So once you have all of the above sorted, you'll need to register your company. In the UK, you do this with the Companies House and it's pretty straightforward. Here's a quick checklist of 8 things you'll need to register your company. Number 1, your company name. If you're registering as a limited company like I have, it must end with limited or Ltd. It's worth noting that you have a registered name and a trading name. So the name we all know as Google has their company name as Alphabet Inc., but one of their trading names as Google. A company may have one registered name but can have multiple trading names. So in my case, NK Films Ltd is the registered name and then can trade under NK Films, NK Courses and so on to have other arms in the company sitting underneath that. So think about if you want to include your name, a brand's name or a combination. Each have their pros and cons that we can do a whole separate video on. Generally speaking, if you are the brand and prefer a small personalized company, incorporate your name. If you're looking to have a larger company with employees and potential businesses that spawn from this, a brand's name would be better suited. Number 2, an office with a registered address. This needs to be a physical address and not a PO box. It will be where all of your official documents will be sent. Some company directors choose a registered office address to protect their residential address and benefit from the prestigious presence in, say, central London. Whatever you decide, make sure you have access to the address. Number 3, the type of business. This is simply the nature of the business. In my case, my code is 59120, which is motion picture, video and television program post-production activities. You can find your SIC code using the link below. Number 4, director's details. These are basic details about the director, which is typically you, which means your full name, date of birth, nationality and address. Number 5, shareholder details. Every limited company must have at least one shareholder. This may also be the director. Number 6, company secretary details. This isn't mandatory to have a company secretary. If you're a person of one, you can just ignore this. Number 7, persons of significant control. You must also provide details of any persons of significant control, PSC, excluding the director, shareholder, or secretary if applicable. Lastly, number 8, your proof of ID, a photo ID showing a proof of address, and you're all set on the legal side. Now that you have your company name, you'd want a domain to match. Before you solidify your business name, you can check the domain you want is available for purchase on websites like 123reg or GoDaddy.com. Some website builders like Squarespace come with their own CMS system and a free domain. Most hosting and domain registration companies will come with your own personalized and professional looking business email address. Another option is you can create a Gmail account and set up your business email from there. Now let's take a look at finances. You'd want to get paid once you finish the project, right? For this, you'd need a business bank account. When you've smashed those projects out of the park, this is of course where you'll be paid into. You can use any bank of your choice. One that I personally love and recommend is Revolut Business, which even has a free plan. They offer multiple currencies and have a great app that lets you have the ability to freeze your card remotely, set spending limits. They have a really easy integration with invoicing software to automatically import your transactions and expenses. The paid plans offer much more features and reduced fees. So feel free to test out the free account first and see how you find it. Speaking of invoices, that's what we'll cover next. Once your client is smiling and high-fiving you for a job well done, you'll need to send over your invoice, which includes your registered company name and address, your bank details we just covered. You'll need an invoice numbering system and itemized list of the work carried out. You also need to include the cost per day or project, if VAT is charged, the total amount owed, and when the invoice is due. Additionally, you can include some payment terms you have. For example, if there's an overdue invoice, what is the interest rate on that?
1 billion, gajillion, fifillion, million.
What about creating the invoice? You can use free options like word processing software like Microsoft Word or Pages, or invoice generator websites, or using more professional software like FreshBooks, QuickBooks, or my favorite, Xero. With Xero, you can integrate your business bank seamlessly, send automated reminders to clients that have an outstanding invoice, and you can use their reporting features to see the health of your business and a whole lot more. If you'd like an in-depth tutorial on my whole invoicing process, feel free to comment below and we can make it happen. A question I often get asked is, should I have an accountant or should I do it myself? From my personal experience from trying to do my own tax bill in the first year and realizing I could have saved tons of time, money and stress, I would highly recommend getting an accountant. A good accountant will save you far more than what you pay them annually. They can also manage your payroll, which are your pay slips that you need to submit at the end of each month. Lastly, if you don't want to go through registering your business, an accountant can offer this in-depth advice and handle the entire registration for a small fee. So rather than risking a fine and submitting your accounts after the deadline and incurring late fees, getting an accountant is a no-brainer. The last financial point to consider is, do you need to be VAT registered? At the time of recording this video for 2021 and 2022, in the UK, if your turnover, i.e. the total of everything you've sold and charged for, is over £85,000 a year, you'll need to be VAT registered. A misconception is that you lose money by paying VAT. VAT is charged on top of your day rate, so if you were charging £500 a day, you'd charge £500 plus £100 VAT, which is typically around 20%. You then pay this VAT back every quarter, so be sure not to spend this. One downside to being VAT registered is if you're charging VAT to a small business that isn't VAT registered, you'll have to buff this into your costs because they can't claim back on it, which may put them off as you being too expensive for them. Or you'll take the hit and reduce your overall costs to take home the amount of £500 per day to £400 a day. Advantages are you can claim back the VAT when you fork out for that shiny new gear and business equipment. Who's laughing now, VAT charges? Lastly, you're probably asking yourselves, Nick, how much do I actually charge per day? Well, we have an entire module on pricing which covers this, and we even created a tool which looks at industry rates for every video role and skill level. So you can just put in how many days it will take and it will automatically calculate how much to charge the client. So that's the finance aspect in a nutshell. Let's now take a look at the creative. This section is all about your skill set and services and how you present these. First and foremost, you need a showreel that showcases your very strongest work in the best light. It needs to communicate clearly what you do, your level of skill, and who it serves. Ensure that your showreel speaks to your target audience and displays what your role was on each shot, and it demonstrates your skill set clearly. We have a whole separate lesson on this called How to Create a Winning Showreel, which I'll link to below. The showreel is what you do. Your website is what I like to consider the who and why part. This is your shop front of why clients should hire you. Here you communicate in more detail who you are, what you can offer, and why you are the expert in your field. Show your website to friends and peers and get their feedback and first impressions when landing on your site. Now onto the people that keep the lights on, your clients. You can't have a business without clients. At a minimum, you need to know who your clients are. Who is it that you want to work with specifically? And do you have anyone in your contacts or within your current circle to get you started? If you don't, there's 2 quick tactics to get you started today. First, ask family members, friends, and their contacts that you have X service and you're willing to create something for their company for free or low cost, in return for a review and recommendation to their network. And the second tactic is to post on social media what you do for other businesses and show examples of how you do this. If no one in your direct network needs your services, ask them to tag their contacts in the post that would benefit from your services. Having a strong network of clients and a system that brings them in is absolutely essential to running a successful business. You've guessed it, we also have training on how to build a system to get consistent clients, as well as a tool called the Client Tracker, which acts as a CRM to track and manage all of your clients in one simple place. And our final step, strategy. This is hands down the most overlooked aspect of being a freelancer. I know freelancers that have been in the game for over 10 years and even longer and still find that they have inconsistent periods of work throughout the year. They're working on projects they don't enjoy because they're struggling to stand out and break through to the next stage in freelancing. Those scenarios aren't ideal and not why you got into freelancing in the first place, which is why it's key to have a system in place that alleviates your time spent looking for work and ensures that you have enough clients and revenue to have a thriving life. This is a huge topic and one that we have an entire module on. As a general answer, the very first thing I would suggest is for you to look back on the vision step and tie it into these questions. What unique skills do I have to offer? Who in the market needs that specific problem solving? Once you have these answers, it's a case of building an automated client funnel, which is a system that continuously works for you, bringing in tons of projects so you can pick and choose the ones that you genuinely want to work on, all while spending more time being creative and less time on the admin looking for jobs. To recap, ensure that you have a vision that outlines your freelance career. You now know how to register and operate your business. You know how to set up a business bank account, and if you want to manage the finances yourself or through an accountant. You need to ensure that you have a showreel and website to showcase your skills and who your work is catered for. You now know how to use your existing network to build up your first client base, and having a plan for how to bring in clients and understanding who you're serving. And that, my friends, is the essentials to actually getting started. But what about building a successful freelance career that means that you're never having to look for jobs again whilst working on meaningful projects that you love whilst being paid very handsomely? What we've discussed here is only just scratching the surface. We go through in much more detail how to do all of the above and so much more in our online course, Freelance Mastery. We teach you how to get higher paying clients, increase your day rate, and learn about other ways of pricing your work. We have a number of freelance tools that automatically brief your clients, quote your projects, set up your video projects, manage your finances, and a whole lot more. We have templates on how to communicate with your future prospects with your CV, cover letter, social media statuses, referral and testimonials, and email templates. We show you how to automate your business to bring in regular projects, how to win your clients over, and how to work with your dream client. So if you want to jumpstart your freelancing career, go ahead and check out our free taster course in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.